Yo, what's up guys? Terrell here on Terrell Game Vlog here to bring you Sket Dance episode 77 review. Sket Dance, we can do that. So last episode for now, and this episode really doesn't end in a way that makes you think that there's going to be another season, but these types of animes will fuck with you in more ways than one, and I don't know if Crunchyroll took anything out. I don't think they did. I don't see anything they could have taken out. It doesn't look like anything was taken out. But episode 77, overall, good ending. But it's split up into like 3 sections. The first section is Uchida and Jokisaki, which I thought was a nice ode, considering those are like the first 2 side characters to show up in the anime. With that whole thing with the basketball team. The second half, the second part is the Saya Agata stuff, which is essentially exactly what I thought it was. From what Rock King told me, pretty much they moved the Saya confession thing. They moved the arrangement of it because it's supposed to happen before, you know, she invites him out to tea. So they moved that here. It still works. It actually works better, like it's a conclusion to something. And then we have, I believe, then the last part is kind of like student council slash Sket Dance slash slight Momoka switch related stuff kind of situation. I don't really know what they call the third half, because the third half is like 5 minutes or some shit. And I'm gonna just kind of voice my overall opinions about season 2 while I'm doing this video, so this video might actually be pretty long. The first thing about this video, the first thing about this episode that kind of irks me with season 2 in general, is that we're missing like 3 characters in here. Can you guess which 3? Actually, one of them you should know right off the bat, because it's the one that I'm going to base part of my ranting on season 2 about. The other one is Quentin and Nickman are in here. Unless you count like the little clip show they did at the end with that song. That was a good song at the end, by the way. I like that new song. It's too bad we only get to hear it once. But I do like, you know, that's the one thing I missed, is that, you know, the only problem with the clip show is that they did it for the end of season 1, so it feels kind of redundant because they're still reusing season 1 openings. They're not just doing season 2 openings, because it's like, that was like, what, 2 openings and 2 endings, and they don't use endings in the thing, so it's like literally you had like, what, 5 openings or some shit compared to the 2 for season 2. So, see the problem? I don't know why. And Nickman and Quentin, they brought almost every character back except for Nickman and Quentin and Coma. And Coma is the one I'm gonna really base the rating around, because it's the one thing I don't like about season 2. If anyone saw like the poster for season 2 when they announced like that Saya and Coma were gonna be in it, they did exactly that. They announced Saya and Coma as if both of those were important characters, even though Coma only appears in the 2nd season for only 3 fucking episodes. Only one of them is based around her, which is her introduction. The other 2 times she appears in that whole samurai pudding thing, and then she appears again as like a side story character in that whole Himiko crab woman, you know, stopping the Monkey King switch thing. And it was like, well, that's nice, but I kind of wish she would appear a little bit more and do a little bit more with the character. It's kind of like, she feels really weak for a 2nd season character, considering how much of an impact Saya made. It just makes Coma, which I found hilarious. The giant character, the character who's like the Godzilla thick girl, is the character that we see the least amount of, which I guess was kind of maybe a little bit more onto her pun about being very quiet and shy and shit. As far as the Saya confession, I like the way it was handled, because like Boston, they had no way to react to it, so he's kind of like, yeah, and I like how it's and Saya knows him well enough to realize he wasn't gonna have the right reaction to that. Mind you, it kind of seems weird that like Saya would confess to him, considering she doesn't know that Himiko and Boston switch bodies. And I even like how Himiko indirectly acknowledges Saya's crush, because she walks up to Himiko and she's kind of like, Boston's such a child, and you just like, and she winks at her, and it's like, oh, I get it. And I like that. It was like a feminine wiles thing right there. It was kind of funny. They even like hint at the Momoka switch thing at the end, where like Momoko's trying to like flirt with Switch, but Reiko and who was it? Reiko and Yaba-san was behind him, and they like were like, "Can I get your autograph?" kind of shit. I think it was Yaba-san. I'm not totally sure. I know it was Reiko. I'm not totally sure about Yaba-san. Which is a nice hint to that. And then obviously you got to see Agata Michiru interact with like Kitty and Usami, which was actually pretty funny, because I love how like Michiru's whole thing is that he's a playboy, even though in the damn series you never really see it. You see it occasionally, but you rarely see his whole thing. And Agata obviously had his crazy, "Don't remember my little sister" kind of things, and I thought that was just fucking hilarious. And I might be getting interrupted right now because my mother's kind of a dick with this shit. Hopefully I won't be, but we'll see. Overall, you know, the ending for, you know, the series, quote unquote, depending on whether it comes back, was pretty solid. You know, as I said, the real thing about season 2 I don't like is the fact that it's shorter, and the fact that, you know, you put up Saya and Koma, and Saya just completely overshadows Koma. Like, it's ridiculous, because she's in almost every episode of season 2. Like, she's almost in every episode. Between 52 and 77, she's in like the majority. Like, there's probably like she's in like probably like 22 out of the fucking 27 episodes, and I think that's actually pretty close. I mean, there's a few she isn't in, but she's in almost every goddamn episode. It's ridiculous. Mind you, I like Science. I didn't really mind it. I kind of wish we saw more Coma. I think a Nick Man and Quentin were the only side characters we didn't get to see, because they showed everybody. You know, they showed even Roman, Uchida. I didn't even think, and people probably don't even know who the fuck Uchida is. That's what's funny, because he's only appeared like maybe 3 or 4 times. He has that same kind of presence as Coma does, where he like appears occasionally, but it's really, 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 really rare. Joe Kasaki is about the same thing. He's really fucking rare. He was pretty prevalent in like the first 13 episodes, but he barely appears at all. So I was like, oh shit, is that Uchida? Is that Joe Kasaki? Well, ain't that a bitch? But for some reason, Quentin and the Nick Man haven't really shown back up again, which is a damn shame, because I kind of like those two characters. I don't know, Sket Dance was a fun, enjoyable ride. I don't want to make this too sentimental, because if it comes back with a season 3, and it's like in like 6 months, I'm going to be fucking annoyed that I acted like I tried to get all sentimental with this shit, because it's going to be, but then again, it would kind of follow like comedy logic, be like, act sentimental, trick them into thinking that, you know, that you give a shit, and then it's like, oh, surprise, bitches, we're back. But the ending for the episode didn't really give any hint to it. Sket Dance was a show that I got into. I didn't even get into Sket Dance when it first came out. I got into Sket Dance because Sam mentioned Sket Dance to me, because I think it was during the time I was like casually watching Gintama, which is what is replacing Sket Dance. And it'd be kind of cool if Sket Dance and Gintama kind of went back and forth within seasons. Like, you know, Gintama's current until like early next year, like around February or March, and then Sket Dance takes over until like June or July, and then, you know, and it kind of just falls into that line, because I don't know, it kind of works considering those shows are too similar. And I even said it in my review that like Sket Dance is like a low, poor man's version of Gintama, but what it really is, to me, and the one thing I always will prefer over Sket Dance, at least as of right now, is that I really like the character dynamic. You know, Gintama has kind of like that dick, just like Gintama has like extreme One Piece type of humor, you know, where you got these friends, but they're kind of dicks to each other. Whereas Sket Dance is more of like a genuine and kind of shonenistic, oh, we're all friends, la 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 la. Whereas like with Gintama, everyone's a dick to each other. Like, it's kind of like we're all dicks, but when the time comes, we'll band together and kick ass. But with fucking Sket Dance, it's kind of just like, you know, we're all just fucking friends. And I like that, you know. I like that kind of shit. I mean, the one thing about Season 2 I say I really enjoyed is they pushed student council more, and the stories were just a lot more enjoyable. I love One-san. I love that whole shit with One-san and Suzu and the fucking marriage and shit. That was great. That was fucking great. Some of the side stories are kind of but most of them are pretty enjoyable. And as I said, the only thing I don't like about Season 2 is that, you know, when we finally have Kitty and Usami solidified in the goddamn roles, end of the season. And I'm like, fuck me. Because I actually did like those two. So, like, it gives Student Council more of a presence, and it gives, like, Unyu and Daisy a lot more character by comparison, because Daisy is, like, this is kind of like this bullshit mother for Usami, and Unyu's just kind of a dick. Like, it's like, oh, she's a prissy little rich girl. It's like, no, Unyu's a dick. Unyu's like a conniving dick who doesn't understand, like, who isn't really good with the whole money aspect. I hope there's, like, more stories with Unyu in the manga, which I think a lot of people are asking me, you know, like, are you going to read the manga? Maybe. Well, I'll see where we're at when we hit, is it the spring? Yeah, the spring season for next year, because we're going into winter right now. So I'll see where we're at in the spring season of next year. And if, you know, there's no rumors about Sket Dance, I might get into the manga. But for those who are like, oh, there's nothing else you're going to be reviewing, Bakuman Season 3, bitches, that comes out next month. So I'm probably going to do a predictions video sometime between, like, in these next 3 or 4 days. And we'll have that. But, Sket Dance, you are so awesome. I enjoyed your show immensely. And I hope we have a Season 3 coming. I want to hear some more about other things, and I like to see other arcs animated, just to see how they do them. Sket Dance for the win. Tell me your thoughts on the show and on the series in general. Where is it ranked in your favorites? Because this is probably one of my favorites. I probably put this in top 10. I don't know how high in top 10, but I probably put it in top 10, probably like 10. Not to say anything, not to say it's bad, but, you know, there's a lot of other shows I like, and a lot of other shows that touch a lot of other things that Sket Dance doesn't. But it was still, it was really enjoyable. I had a lot of fun with Sket Dance, especially first season. First season, I was on some high. Second season, I enjoyed the majority of it. You know, there's some flat episodes there, but most of them are really fun and enjoyable to watch. I wanted to see more Rumi and Boston Love. That would have been hilarious. Because I know there are a couple of chapters that are based around that, and I hope we also get to see the whole Tsubaki video game thing as an actual episode, because someone said that little eye catcher is actually a basis off the actual episode. There's like an actual chapter devoted to like Tsubaki playing video games for the first time. But anyways, that's my thoughts, that's my opinions. Please leave yours in the comment section below. And until we hear anything about a Season 3 for Sket Dance, I'll see you guys later. So, vlogs the game from your boy Terrell. Sket Dance is so awesome. And, until later, peace!